Across the Falklands, there are signs of plants dying away. Two important native plants, the diddle-dee and whitegrass, are both suffering from dieback, that is, where a plant's branch, shoots and roots die from the tips backwards. Research has taken place to identify the causes and to take action on the issue, first noticed in ridges and valleys on West Falkland in 2019. But despite a number of theories, the causes of this dieback are still unclear.
We're recognising it, and we're now only just starting to come to grips with what's actually causing it, and we're having to do some more tests. But it's basically an area of forage, whether it's been a bushy forage like diddle-dee or a more native whitegrass forage where it was in plentiful and healthy condition, and now we're seeing some areas dying back and certainly some decay. So that's I guess what is being considered as dieback. The next question is why. I believe it's more than likely to be more climatic than disease, because of our hostile environment here. It's very hard to get, especially fungal type diseases, actually bad enough to actually spread because of our, I dare say, very cold and dry climate.
If dieback becomes a serious enough issue, it could cause a loss of land grazing area and erosion where soil is exposed to the wind. But at the moment, it doesn't seem to be having a huge impact on farms. But there isn't a complete consensus on the extent of its potential impact.
I fly about the Falklands quite a bit, and you can see it from the air. You can see the dieback in the depressions in the ground. Well, it really depends on how climate change progresses. Like in the last 2 seasons, we've seen extreme drying going on during the summer months. The season has shifted during the summer, whereas you would have started planting your gardens in September. Now you're struggling to get the right soil temperatures, like at the end of October and November. So I think it's an ongoing climate effect, really. For me personally, just my personal opinion, what I've experienced here, I don't think at this stage I'd find it a problem. Because where it's dying back, it's being replaced by other native plants. And I guess what you're seeing is it's like it's almost being pushed out of its ecological niche, and it's been replaced by something else. Where diddle-dee would have thrived in these areas in the past, now you have other plants that will sort of take over these areas.
There is a likelihood that climate change and drying lands are a major factor in plant dieback, but until more research takes place, it's hard for farmers to know how much of a threat it poses for them in the coming decades.
It comes down to measuring and actually getting a handle on what sort of area is being affected, and what are the alternatives. What could we have growing in its place, and whether we need to do some remedial work in areas where we are going to see erosion. I think that's quite possible. Maybe we need to keep stock out of certain areas at certain times. I think that's another action we may have to look at. But without measuring and actually taking account of areas and how we manage things and reporting that and measuring that, it's very hard to really get a good handle at, even over a 10-year period. So that's another area we need to do a lot more measuring.